Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this, your Scorpio April 2023 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James, clairvoyant, and it's great to see you. Thanks for stopping by, and great to see the subscribers in particular. Always such a pleasure to see you. You know, lots of love and energy goes your way each month. I love to see you each month, truly I do. And as you know, there are no video advertisements breaking their way into this content, so you get to enjoy the experience directly. Now, I've done a number of one-on-one clairvoyant readings for some of you over the course of the last month from different parts of the world, as well as healings as well, haven't I? And you know who you are. And I will say this, that if you feel led or drawn to have a clairvoyant reading with me or to have a healing from me, just check out the information which is in the description box below. But now we're going to take 5 cards, because 5 is all we need to see what the spiritual energies are that are bursting around you during this period. So let's get it underway, shall we? I love doing your readings, I really do. Let's have a look. There's the 6 of coins. Good on you, Scorpio. There's the Hierophant. This is an old Russian deck, did I tell you? The imagery is, well, as you'll see, there's the 5 of Cups, as you'll see in just a second, is unmistakably that sort of Russian Orthodox style of art. That's there. There's Justice, and what's something from in here? That was the Hierophant, the 6 of Coins, 5 of Cups, Justice, and finally, the Fool. Excellent. Well, why don't you come now? Sit down here next to me. I always love it when the Fool comes up. It's so good for you in this, I can tell already, but I'm not giving anything away. Come and sit down next to me. We'll have a good close look at the imagery on these cards together while I do the reading for you. Right, let's have a look at the first card which you drew, which is the 6 of Coins. Well, this is looking pretty good, isn't it? Now, there's good astrology with the 6 of Coins, and where it's placed in that first position above Justice and with the Hierophant over on the opposite side, it is the Moon ruling the second decan of Taurus, which is the 1st to the 10th of May. Now, the Moon is exalted in Taurus, which is a great sign. But the Moon has a transient nature, doesn't it? It waxes, it wanes, it goes dark, then there's a new moon, and then it waxes again. But the Moon likes nurturing and comfort. And Taurus, the fixed sign of Earth, loves the material things in life: drinking, eating, sex. Fashion, in particular, is what is adored by Taurus. And so the two of these together, the Moon and Taurus, they combine, I think, to bring about material success for you. So I see success and a generosity going both ways, so paying it forward. You may also receive a financial boost. There's possibility of a grant or a scholarship being awarded here as well. Now, this is the external manifestation of the inner, because the Moon is also dealing what's inside you, what's in your subconscious. And it's saying also that success comes to you when you go carefully, step by step. Examine and scrutinize everything carefully, and above all, at the beginning and an end of an enterprise, they must be planned and thought out to the last detail. Now, it's also much too trying and boring to go step by step through every phase of a process, so be open also to taking risks, and be open for wonderful surprises and sudden changes or expansion. And this demands flexibility and openness to new, unexpected developments. Our success also involves strong emotional energy. Only if you are open to the deep dimensions of feeling will you be able to fully enjoy the happiness and success. And you know, success must, like the Moon says, grow out of the inner depths and bring something from these depths into view. And it demands effective communication. Ideas must be expressed in ways that touch people and inspire them. And remember also that success is achieved through being enterprising, through having vitality, being goal-directed, and having energy and endurance. Difficulties must be overcome on your way to victory. There could well be the opportunity for a profitable adventure for you here, but this is a reminder also for you to remember the successes of your life and to build on them. So be open to your success. It is no less than a gift you can learn to accept thankfully and humbly. Real success only comes once you have learned to serve. Success under these conditions enriches all levels of your being. What does success mean for you at the moment? Visualize as precisely as possible what success looks like. See it in detail. See yourself involved in it just before you go to sleep at night. But say this: my self-acceptance and self-confidence, they are the keys to real success. Now, I mentioned that first card because I want you to know that despite what is going to be probably a moment here or there where you feel disappointed by something or by somebody, there is this card, which is this Five of Cups. Now, the astrology here is Mars ruling at the first decan of Scorpio. Now, you would expect a really positive aspect to this, wouldn't you? Because Mars rules your sign. But in this number 5 here, I have a mystical association with the planet of Mars as well. So there is a double Mars, a double fire in there. And this adds the numerology, the extra fire. So the energy imbalance that's there has Mars evaporating the waters of Scorpio. So maybe you are feeling that there has been an unfulfilled expectation. But remember, this is a very successful month for you. Maybe you, for a moment there or for a day, you lose a sense of balance. It could be that there are problematic relationships or an unexpected disturbance. Maybe it's the expectations that you had were much too big. Some unexpected event, perhaps only a thoughtless reaction, has ruined them abruptly. Now, the aggressively destructive energies now dominating the scene have, I think, probably been smouldering beneath the surface within you for some time. You've overlooked them. Perhaps you didn't want to admit to their existence. You ignored the warnings of your inner voice. But now you have to face the sobering facts and look them in the eye. But you know, every disappointment contains within it the possibility of an important learning experience. And you know, look, maybe things didn't work out as expected. Well, this card is saying don't wallow around in self-pity and regret, because new and better experiences are in store, as is quite obviously the case. Maybe you're feeling disappointed by someone else's actions. Well, find it in your heart to forgive them. Well, forgiveness is difficult, but if you look at it as just saying, look, it happened as a fact. It wasn't right that it happened. It should not have happened, but it did. And now, what am I going to do about it? I'm not going to let that event or those words define who I am or how I feel. Now, the feelings that surface can sometimes give rise to fear. Fear of taking another risk, or of making an effort in the future, or of hiding away in some place where you can't be disappointed again. Well, this is not the right thing for you to do. Now, I think that either some much too high expectation of yours has been crushed, or somewhere deep inside you lurks the fear of some disappointment. Well, now is a good time to learn from this situation. Now ask yourself this: in what areas of your life do you fear disappointment? What have you learned from the disappointments you've experienced until now? How can you prevent disappointment? And say this to yourself: I get to know my own reality by learning to see where I fool myself or where I deny my inner voice. Now let's have a look at the Fool. He's just sticking down here on the end of that diagonal. Now this is a depiction, I would say, of a medieval travelling fool that wandered around Russia in the old days. Here he has a glove puppet that's actually the mirror image of himself. And notice he's looking this way, and that's looking to the future. He's got his dog with him, as is often the case in these cards with this thing. And he is the one who walks without fear, the spirit of the ether. Now, this is about openness, trust, and readiness to take a risk, and also for the courage to stand your ground. There's freedom here and independence, great creativity with you, and your great potential is starting to be realized. And I do think there is a possibility for you to make a real leap. It's very much the time for you to listen to your heart's voice. It's a time to be in the present. Now, there's a new beginning of something happening here. There's actions coming on, and you'll be acting without malice, is what I see. Now, I don't get the sense that this is particularly a growth sort of energy around here. This is really an energy which says you have the resource, the strength within you. I'm just taken now by something which is to say, you are the breath caressing my cheek in your incessant going, yet you are always with me. Now, I think that this is a time where there is something new and spontaneous that you are going to undertake here, certainly a beginning of a journey which may seem to you to be unknown, but you must, in order to fulfill the success card that's there, do some planning there. It doesn't mean to say that you don't just make a blind leap of faith into the future. There is a need to take a leap, but not of faith, but go forward with an inner confidence that you are going to be okay. Open your life up and have faith that you can create what you want. I think you may be wanting to break free from the usual routines of life and look upon life as the Fool does and be empty once again like a clown or a child. You are ready for a new beginning, perhaps even a quantum leap. Give in, dare to leap, even if fear attempts to hold you back. Trust the voice from within your heart. Now, what is that tiger of fear for you? What does it look like? How do you imagine your courageous leap into the new? What does it look like? And where does your heart call you to go? Say this to yourself. I am a radiant being. I am a living treasure. I honor and value the unlimited resource of courage which is within me. I respect the nature of whom I am. There is nothing to fear. I now follow my heart. I am open and ready to go wherever it may lead me. You know that there is nothing you cannot be, there is nothing you cannot do, there is nothing you cannot have. You are the most magnificent, the most remarkable, the most splendid being God has ever created. For who could reject such wondrous magnificence? But you do not know who you are, and you think you are a great deal less. You are your own rule maker, and you are the one who can assess how you are doing. Now, all you see in the world is your idea about it. Life will take off for you when you choose for it to. An idea becomes a thought becomes a word. Say it out loud. Words have power, and they echo all throughout eternity. And a word becomes an action. And if you are going to do it, start and go all the way. Do it, do it, do it. Seize the opportunities in front of you. Rejoice in them, and let no power on earth take them from you. Well, I feel like having a look at this Justice card here. It's another major arcana. And here she is with the scales, as you would expect, probably the sword of discernment. And this archway, I think, is about the doorway to the celestial realm. Well, this is Venus ruling Libra with Saturn exalted. Now, Libra emphasizes that the energy of this card here is all about equilibrium. It's about karmic cause and effect and bringing a situation into balance for you. It's also about self-control. Now, for me, she is the daughter of the Lords of Truth, the ruler of the balance. This is a time for you of justice. You will receive justice. And it's a time also of balancing things, adjusting things as they need to be adjusted to make things successful for you. Maybe even stepping back and taking that Libra approach of getting everybody's point of view before acting. So I think that there is a sense of you standing back, a suspension of action before you make a decision, and objectivity that's around here. There's the balancing also of opposites that is involved with this card. I also think that there is the period where you are going to be taking stock of your life to see what is useful and what should be let go. You'll be thinking clearly about life ahead of you, and you will be aware that all actions have consequences because there's a great degree of cause and effect with this. But you will be getting a clear vision of possibilities and the choices that are ahead of you and applying the insights that you've obtained so far in order that you can lead a balanced and successful life. Do you know, the storms of life can throw us out of balance again and again, and this constant change between being centered and uncentered is the process which teaches you to be more conscious from moment to moment in order to retain that inner peace and clarity when you find it. And this is a summons to avoid all the extremes of your daily life. Now, this could refer to emotional disturbances in relationships, or at work, or in some creative activity, or in dealings with money. Total centeredness and inner balance are needed if the great new ideas arising now are to bear fruit. And from a position of balance, everything develops in a balanced way, in its place, given its appropriate value. So pay attention to what situations in your daily life tend to throw you off balance. Discover the conditions under which you find harmony again. Carry this quality with you more and more as you move through your daily activities. And what helps you reach your balanced center and to stay there? And what happens when you lose your balance? Say this to yourself: I am balanced and centered. I honor my word. I value being truthful in difficult situations. The abundance and the beauty of nature is a reflection of my own nature, and I am at rest in my center. And then we shall finish off, shall we, with, well, the only remaining card, which is his other major arcana of the Hierophant. Now, I remember when I was in St. Petersburg in Russia once, I was in a museum and I saw a painting of a guy called Duke Saint Vladimir, and it looked exactly like this. As there he is sitting on a sort of a throne, and I noticed that he's holding in his right hand there, that's the Russian Orthodox Church is the Christian Church of Russia, and that's known as the Orthodox cross that's there, and maybe that's even, it could be St. Petersburg in the background, I don't know, I don't remember back there. But the Hierophant, well, this is Venus in Taurus with the moon exalted. Now, Taurus is Earth, the fixed sign of Earth, and this emphasizes, I think, the importance of you applying your spiritual realizations in the day-to-day world. Because this guy, I think, kind of bridges the in-between with this world that we live in now. I think it also indicates that this is a time when you really don't want to rock the boat just for this month. It's a time to follow the rules, the regulations, and the traditions in your life. This is very much a tradition that's going on here. Now, you may not necessarily even agree with the traditions, but just pretend that you do for the sake of other people at this time. I do think, though, that this is a period of great learning. You'll be upskilling yourself. You could be undertaking, finding out something more to do with a trade, or thinking about going to night school, or courses that you might take in college, or even just looking up things like recipes or beauty tips on the internet. This is a very good card for people who are involved in large organizations such as the education or health. I think that there is here where there's very much an energy here where I think that you could be acting as a counselor or advisor to people. People are coming to you, I see, asking you to, putting problems to you and saying, what do you think about this? How do you think what should I do? Can you listen to this? Give me your feedback on it. That's really what I'm getting here. I think that there is also a lot of counsel and advice that's being provided here. Now, you're going to be very gifted at communicating, at getting information across, and at inspiring other people to make the best of themselves. You may well also be committed to this concept of community around you, so you could be involved in some sort of community activity. That could be in a school place, for example. It could be involving things to do with school or sport or things like that. Certainly, I think you're going to be very attracted to sound, to music. It's going to play, for some reason, a more important role in your life. Or you're going to be more sensitive to it. It could be nature sounds. It could be, as well as anything that you might get through Spotify or anything like that. You'll be very good at listening and speaking and at using words to communicate ideas and making things tangible. I think you're going to have a great desire to be challenged by new experiences here as well. Do you know, the search for the self might lead you into spiritual realms, and this can sometimes refer to someone coming across a spiritual teacher or master. Involve yourself with the teachings of spiritual masters. I mean, you'll find plenty of them on the internet, I think. But say this to yourself: I honor the sacred within me. I am inspired by learning and teaching. I am creative and productive in my family and work life. There is only one voice worth listening to, and that is the voice of my own heart. Well, what a particularly fascinating spread of cards for you. Good job, you. Well done. Well, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I enjoyed providing it to you. It really was an interesting reading, and great things are in store for you this month. I found the artwork, did you not, to be quite interesting. It's not the type of thing that you see every day, is it? But anyway, there'll be a different deck for next month. But in the meantime, I want you to remember one thing and one thing only, and it is this: that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, it's bye for now.